And my dear friends, first of all, let me thank Taxmann also for giving me this opportunity to interact with such an august audience. And I hope we will be making a better evening together, learning from each other, mutual learning. So not only I will be deliberating, you all will be interacting through this Taxmann's platform through the chat box with me. So I just opened my chat box so that I can interact with you all, and I hope you all are ready. Ma'am, can the people, they can put the messages in the chat box, I hope?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, all right. So can I see a few thumbs up in the chat box that yes, you are listening and you are ready to sail for refund topic. And you know, I always say refund is such a topic which brings smiles on everyone's face. Great, Mr. Ghosh, I can see that. Thumbs up. And you know, right, Vikasji. So I was talking about refund as a topic. You called ITC as the heart and soul of GST. And I say that refund is just making that heart and soul meet, because it is the ultimate encashment of the ITC benefit that is being done through the refunds. You know, your messages are flowing on my screen in the chat box, and I'm so happy to see such a lively audience. Right, great, everyone. So friends, refunds is a topic which brings smiles on everyone's face, right? May it be the party, may it be the professional, may it be the department. So let me connect the PPT with all of you. I hope you all can see the PPT, and let me open the chat box also so that I can interact with you through it. All right, now let me make the slideshow. Right. Okay. Friends, I talk GST refunds. What are the legal provisions? First, talking about, I know refund is a very, very vast topic. So we'll be trying to cover the maximum in the time allotted to us. Talking about the legal provisions, friends, there are legal provisions which are contained in section 54. Section 54 to 58 of the Acts deals with the legal provisions. And if I talk about the legal provision, there are rules also from 89 to 97. There are various forms that are provided. And you know, there have been a number of circulars on refunds. Ultimately, giving all away, government brought the concept of giving up these circulars, and they brought some master circular like circular 125, which has been the master circular when the old circulars were withdrawn. Then in the due course, we have come across with circular 135, 137, and so on. अब तो इतने सारे circulars हो गए हैं refunds में भी, but the master circular still, the main provisions are contained in circular 125. Now, friends, talking about the refunds, if I ask you, is there any definition of refund? अच्छा, जल्दी से बताइए मुझे. Generally, definition of refund is given in which section? And trust me, we will be doing the refunds totally practically. That how you have to apply, what are the documents you require, what are the legal provisions, and what are the difficulties practically being faced in some of the cases. So can you write in the chat box? Doesn't matter right or wrong. I just need the answer so that I can feel I'm not interacting with this black box, rather with the mentioning that it is section 2. Friends, it is not section 2, section 54. Okay, Soumya ji. So what it is? Yes, explanation, generally the definition, but here the definition of refund, absolutely, Gayatri ji, it is given under explanation 1 to section 54. And you know what is the definition? It is the definition that is talking about includes. It is an inclusive definition, and it talks about various types of refunds. Zero-rated refunds, zero-rated supplies per refund, ITC ke refunds, inverted duty structure ke refunds, and all that. Now, if I talk about and summarize these, this chart will give you an idea what are the major types of refunds. So starting with the first one is the exports. You can export with payment of tax or even without payment of taxes. Refund is eligible. I'm, for the time being, not going to the depth. Let me tell you the types. So first we talked about exports with payment, without payment. only one category of refund which comes automatically to the taxpayer's account is export of goods with the payment. In that, the bill of entry, that is the shipping bill which is filed, is taken as a deemed application. So with payment of tax is, yes, no separate application is required. That is a deemed application with exports with payment of taxes. Rest all categories, nothing comes automatically in GST. You have to put an application before the officer on the online portal. Then you apply for the refund and you get the refund. Second broad category is SEZ supplies. Of course, zero rated, if I say, that includes exports and SEZs together. Third is ITC refund due to inverted tax structure. Now, let me ask you a question, and I want to see the answers flowing in the chat box. One of my clients is dealing in cement. They are getting cement from the neighboring countries like Pakistan and other countries. Now, don't say me trade band hai with Pakistan and all that. So they are importing the cements. They are importing at the rate of 280 per bag. Please listen to the concept very carefully. They are importing the cement at the rate of 280 per bag. They are selling, when they're bringing, while custom clearance, the custom value that bag as rupees 300 per bag. Rupees 300 per bag, that is being valued at. And then they further sell it at 295 and so on in India. Right now, in this case, if I talk about, they are having credit accumulation underneath. Unka credit accumulate ho raha hai because they are paying taxes on import at the rate of 300 and they are selling it at 295 rupees per bag in India. My question to you is, huge credit accumulation, huge. Is the party liable for the refund? Is the party liable for the refund? Yes or no? Refund on, okay, Rohit ji saying not possible, Anil ji saying yes, possible to take the refund, and many of you, Rahul ji, Gayatri ji, you all are saying yes. My dear friends, Abhishek ji saying yes. This time I will not go with the majority. It is no. Yes, Nagarajan ji, Aravind ji, the answer is no. And why it is no? I am telling you, Jahid ji, it is because it is not inverted tax structure. Inverted rate structure nahi hai. Sir, uska credit accumulate kyun ho raha hai? Due to valuation difference. Valuation kyun? Are 300 rupees pe custom wale value kar rahe hain. He's selling it 295. Rate of tax on cement was 28 at the time of import, will be 28 at the time of sale. There is no inverted duty rate structure. Now, what this rate structure includes, when the rates are inverted, example, the cloth is being sold at 5%, but the underneath purchases are being 15%. Absolutely, Prakash ji. Textile is one of the best examples. Now, you people are asking me about the solution. Sir, the credit accumulation in such cases will not be refunded. But Jahid ji, if you have another line of business along with it, then you can go for the use of that ITC for other line, but that refund will not be in cash. And now, friends, I'm continuing this answer. In continuation of the same, I pose you all a question. Is right to refund my constitutional right? Yes or no? And I want you to answer. I'm coming to it, sir. What should we do if we don't have any other business? I come. Rohit ji saying no, it is not my constitutional right. Then which right is it, Rohit ji? Abhishek ji saying yes, Sarthak ji saying no, Vicky ji saying, oh my God. So yes, no, yes, no. Friends, right to refund is not a constitutional right. Mr. Srinivas, it's not a constitutional right. Right to refund is a statutory right. If the statute provides that, okay, you will be given the refund, you will be given. A statute says, no, you will not be given the refund. You will not be given the refund. And this was the ruling, which was even substantiated by the Honorable Apex Court, Supreme Court, in its judgment of VKC Footsteps, that if law is creating any sort of differentiation and they don't want you to give the refund, you cannot ask for the same until or unless the statutory provisions allows you the same. Now, talking about it, if the statutory provisions does not allow you, sir, if you don't have any other line of business, your credit is accumulating, you are not able to encash that and you are not able to use that, that will be added to your cost of the business. You can claim it as an expenditure in P&L account, but you cannot take the refund for the same. Right now, if I talk about exports, आपको नीचे दिख रहा होगा, I have put a CG cross in inverted duty structure. I have put in CG, and in CG means capital goods, and input services both cross. Now, in this case, we have a little change where we say that in case of inverted duty structure, input services refund is partially allowed now. The formula has undergone the change. Don't worry, we will be discussing the formula with the examples. So Abhi, I'm just giving you a broad picture that what are the different types of refunds. Out of those, the main category is exports and inverted duty tax structure. Moving ahead, excess payment of tax. Friends, there are three different categories I would like to bring to your knowledge. One is refund of excess payment of tax when the tax amount is not lying in the cash ledger. Not lying in the cash ledger. You were supposed to show a sale of 100 rupees with a tax of 2.5, but inadvertently you mentioned sale of 10 rupees and mentioned the tax at 5 and 5. You paid excess tax, and that has been already deducted from your cash ledger because you filed 3B. That is excess payment of tax refund. You can show the officer, this is my turnover, this was the tax rate on the particular product. I have inadvertently paid the excess tax. That will be refunded. Apart from that, intra and interstate supply, I know it's a big pain for many of the RTPs where they were supposed to pay I, paid C&S, where they were supposed to pay C&S, but they paid I. So it is wrong payment of tax that now the utility for wrong payment of tax is also made available. Late I hai, but it is now being implemented. Deemed exports, there are particular cases for deemed exports. And if you go into any appeal or assessment and due to the favorable order of that, you are liable for refund, you can claim under next category. And yes, if you have any excess cash balance lying in your credit cash ledger, you can claim the refund for the same. Now, let me pose a question. My client comes to me and says, I have a huge credit balance lying. Sir, मेरा तो 25 लाख पड़ा है ITC में और मैं business बंद करने वाला हूँ. I'm just going to shut down my business. Please get me refund of this 25 lakhs lying in my credit ledger. What will be your answer? Allowed or not allowed? Allowed or not allowed? Quickly. No, not. Yes, allowed. No. None of you asked me what is the reason of accumulation, my dear friends. You answered me, yes, Srinivasanji, I'm coming to that point. If the money would have lied in the cash ledger, it would have been allowed as refund without any ifs and buts. Even without the limit of 2 years, the circular has to that effect has already been issued. But if I talk about credit ledger, I will check what is the reason of accumulation. Is it exports? Is it inverted duty rate structure? If the answer is yes, refund application can be applied for. If the answer is no, then that balance which is lying in your credit ledger will not be refunded. And you know what? I will to say my client, you might have to pay the taxes. You know how come? Are you are going to dispose of the business? You might have the stock lying underneath. You might have the capital goods lying underneath. and whose 5 years have not expired. So in that case, that can lead to the liability of tax even when he's going to shut down the business. Yes, that credit can be used for that output tax which will be generated at the time of shutting down of the business. But you will not get the refund until or unless it falls in any of these categories. And one thing more, there is one more category that has been given by the government, that is any other. And you know, people, what they think sometimes, कि जो refund कहीं नहीं मिला ना, वो any other category में मिल जाएगा. The answer is clear cut no. Any other category has been generated by the government for specific types of refunds. Example बताती हूँ. जब textile के केस में जुलाई 2018 में refund allowed हुआ था, वो negative result हो रहा था, then they said you can claim it under any other. But that doesn't mean the refund is not falling under any of these categories. You can claim it under any other. No, not at all. And you know why I put this numbering? It is related to how the portal relates to it. In the portal, you have refund option. You can track it through ICAI also, the refunds, track invoices, and this is the numbering from 1 to 2, that whatever categories we discussed, how these appears on the portal for the purposes of refunds. Right? So we got the idea how many categories are. If I pay penalty through DRC 03, can I claim through any other category? Oh, you have paid the refund. Okay. So Amyaji, I'm coming to your question. And you know, section 54 is already the answer to it. If you have paid any penalty, provided you have the right to claim it back. You have the right to claim it back. What penalty through DRC 03 you have been paid, accordingly the decision will be taken. But my question first is penalty allowed as refund? Answer is yes. And you know, Soumyaji, where the answer lies? In the section 54 itself. Any person who is claiming the refund of any tax and interest, and the words written are in blue color, I have marked any other amount. Any other amount paid by him, he can make an application before the expiry of 2 years. And if it is a cash ledger refund, the period of 2 years is even not applicable. Right? For all the refunds, you have to make the application except one, as I told you, export with payment of taxes. Now, friends, instead of going verbatim to the law, I will be taking you through the case studies for this. Now, let me come to the practical issues when you go for applying the refunds. First, you know, there was a huge problem. Achha, before I show you this slide, you people have to answer me a question. Person is having refund pending for 2 years. All right, make it 2 years. Can he make a single application for 2 years refund? Can we? Don't worry, all the circulars are being no, Srinivasan, yes, Gayatri, oh my God, no, yes, coming one by one. Rahul ji, yes, Arvind ji, no. All right, friends, answer to you to this question is yes, absolutely. Are Sarthak ji, you can make the application together for 2 years. Karunesh ji, yes, you can. And where's the change? Have a look. Bunching of fund claims across financial years. This change has been brought up by the Circular 135. और ये क्यों आया था? High Court का judgment was there in case of Messrs. Pitambra Books Private Limited. And you know what was the contention of the RTP? Have a look. Sir, previously it was not allowed. So that is why you people were giving me mixed answers. Yes, no, yes, no. It was not allowed previously. But what was the problem? I tell you the practical problem. Let's suppose there is an exporter. He purchased the material from India. उसने March end पे purchases कर ली. It is not compulsory कि वो March में ही export कर पाएगा. He might export it in April. Now see before amendment case. See before amendment. In March, he made the purchases. There was no export, zero. Refund, zero. In April, there was export, but there was no purchase, no ITC. Refund, zero. because he was not able to plug March and April together in one application because of the barrier of cutoff of the year. Hence, when the Pitambara book highlighted this case through its judgment, the government amended the law and said you can make the refund application across years also. So now you see, he can make a combined application for March and April, purchase bhi hai, exports bhi hai, and he will be eligible for a refund of 1 lakh rupees. So the answer to the question which I asked you all was definitely yes. Now, apart from this, the very, very important category which I am going to discuss, but before that, let me explain you and take you through the refund process once through this diagrammatic view. Okay, before I go for it, if I ask you, I hide the slide before that. If I ask you that a person applied for the refund, and sometimes we Indians are in the habit of doing things at the fag end, right? And what they did, refund was about to expire, 2 years expire hone wale the. So 2 years expire hone wale the. Just 1 second. जो 2 years expire होने वाले थे, उसमें उन्होंने जो रिफंड लगाया, just 10 days were left, और 15 days बाद ऑफिसर ने उसके ऊपर DM लगा दिया. DM. Now my question to you is, 10 days रिफंड को रह गए थे, 10 days पहले पर्सन ने एप्लीकेशन फाइल की, ऑफिसर ने उसके ऊपर DM लगा दिया, डेफिशिएंसी मेमो कि आप नहीं कर सकते हैं, एंड उसके बाद क्या वो दोबारा अब अच्छा DM लगने पे, I tell you one more point, if there is DM यानी deficiency memo regarding any documents being issued by the officer, आपकी एप्लीकेशन बाहर हो जाती है, आपको दोबारा फ्रेश एप्लीकेशन लगानी होती है. So my question to you is, ऑफिसर ने DM लगाया और 10th day बाद लगाया, right Raghuji, you are catching it right a bit. So if officer ने 10 days बाद DM लगाया, the question arises, क्या वो एप्लीकेशन अब 10 days बाद जब आप दोबारा लगाओगे, will that be time barred? Yes or no? Will that be time barred? Yes or no? अच्छा रोहित जी, no. So now yes or no? Absolutely not time barred, Abhimanyu ji, not time barred. This is one of the good moves by the government. Actually होता क्या था, a person application लगाता था, ऑफिसर उसके ऊपर DM लगा देते था, sir 15 days is the time period, or the time period, maximum time is 15 days, or time taken by the officer, उतने से आपको extended time period मिल जाएगा. यानी अगर 10 days लगाए हैं तो 10 days add हो जाएंगे, उतना और time period आपको मिल जाएगा, and you can file a fresh application. So in case of DM, a fresh application can be applied और आपको उतना extended time मिलेगा. Now have a look on the process. And friends, this process is very, very important. You know why? There are a number of judgments by the honorable courts where it has been held that these time periods are mandatory for the officers to follow. अगर आप 15 दिन में या RFD 03 यानी आप या तो डेफिशिएंसी मेमो दे दीजिए या आप एक्नॉलेजमेंट इशू कर दीजिए, beyond 15 days आप ये नहीं कर सकते. Sometimes we have seen the person sitting in the department, you ask them what you are doing, so then आज 15 दिन हो रहे हैं जिन applications को, we are putting either the deficiency memo or we are issuing RFD 03 02. These time periods are very, very mandatory to be followed. 60 days may the credit should come into your account, and if it does not come within 60 days, interest is liable to be paid by department from the very 61st day. But sir, nothing comes automatically in GST. You have to stand for yourself. You have to fight for your rights. Although government has been instructed that अब जो refund का process है वो automatic होना चाहिए, but still you have to apply for interest, और उसके बाद भी आएगा या नहीं, that depends upon your efforts for the same. Now, coming towards it, refund application is filed in a form. I'm not discussing the form, you all know RFD 01. Either officer puts a deficiency. Sir, deficiency is always only with respect to the documents. डॉक्यूमेंट्स क्या लगाने हैं, सर्कुलर 125 में कंप्लीट लिस्ट दी हुई है. And let me tell you, nobody can go beyond that list and ask you further documents. जो सर्कुलर 125 में कैटेगरी वाइज लिस्ट है डॉक्यूमेंट्स की, राइट? फिर वो आपको एक्नॉलेजमेंट इशू करेगा विद इन 15 डेज. अब आपको लेट्स सपोज डीएम नहीं लगा, आपको अगर डीएम लग गया फ्रेश एप्लीकेशन, डीएम नहीं लगा RFD 02 आ गया, अब ऑफिसर उस रिफंड को चेक करेगा लीगल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से. पहले उसने सिर्फ डॉक्यूमेंट्स के लिए चेक किया था, लीगल व्यू पॉइंट से चेक करेंगे. आपको SCN दिया जा सकता है RFD 08 में. 7 डेज के अंदर अंदर, 15 डेज के अंदर अंदर आपको उसका रिप्लाई, आपको 7 डेज के अंदर अंदर उसका रिप्लाई देना है. एंड वन थिंग मोर फ्रेंड्स, आपका अगर रिफंड एक्सपोर्ट से रिलेटेड है, 90% of the export refund should be given within a period of 7 days. Within a period of 7 days. Then the refund is sanctioned. RFD, उसके बाद रिफंड सैंक्शन होने के बाद ऑर्डर रिफंड का जो आ जाता है, इट कैन बी एक्सेप्टेड, इट कैन बी रिजेक्टेड. देन पेमेंट एडवाइस आती है और रिफंड आपके अकाउंट में क्रेडिट हो जाता है. Entire process, credit of that issuance of the advice should be done within a period of 60 days. So I have given here the case law also, Jan International ka, where they have held that the time periods are mandatory to be followed. Now, coming towards, so I hope you all are enjoying and are not tired. So we are ready to go for the one major category of refund, that is inverted duty rate structure. Can I see a few thumbs up in the chat box? Right, all right, chaliye. So friends, inverted duty rate structure, great Abhinaya ji, I hope I pronounced the name correctly. As I already told you, inverted duty rate structure is formed only and only when the rate of inputs, please mark the words. जो मैंने cement का example I have given you, that is not inverted rate structure. ITC rate on inputs is greater than the rate on output supplies. Friends, इसमें सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम था, इनपुट सर्विसेज का रिफंड पहले नहीं मिलता था. The matter went to the Honorable Apex Court. पहले हाई कोर्ट्स में रहा, Madras High Court in TVL, Tronstoy and in VKC Footstep had the opposite judgments. Then वो opposite judgments आई, उसके बाद जब मैटर ट्रेवल किया Apex Court में, उन्होंने भी कहा it is a statutory right, there is no differentiation. The government can create the classification. एक्सपोर्ट में देना चाहती है दे, इन्वर्टेड में नहीं देना चाहती मत दे. इनपुट सर्विस का रिफंड मिलेगा या नहीं, ये एक स्टैट्यूटरी राइट है, और गवर्नमेंट ने अगर उसमें डिनाई किया है तो आपको इनपुट सर्विस का रिफंड नहीं मिलेगा. बट एट द सेम टाइम दे पॉइंटेड आउट कि इस फॉर्मूला में फ्लॉ है, गलत है, इसको चेंज करना चाहिए. एंड नाउ इनपुट सर्विसेज का डायरेक्ट रिफंड नहीं मिलता, बट इनडायरेक्ट रिफंड इज स्टिल अलाउड. हाउ इज द इनपुट सर्विस रिफंड अलाउड? इनपुट सर्विसेज का जो रिफंड है दैट इज अलाउड. हैव अ लुक. अच्छा, एक चीज और बताइए बिफोर आई मूव टू द फॉर्मूला. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, ट्रेडिंग एक्टिविटी का रिफंड मिलता है? Very, very important point, and number of applications are being sent by the officers back because of this point. If I ask you, in trading का refund inverted duty structure में मिलता है? No. अच्छा अभिषेक जी, I give you an example. सार्थक जी saying yes. Okay. Many of you are no, yes, no, yes. All right. Stay with me for another 2 minutes. You know, this time yes and no both are correct. Both are correct. How come? The broad answer to this is, as per the circular, they have restricted कि हम ट्रेडिंग के केस में इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी स्ट्रक्चर का रिफंड नहीं देंगे. And please friends, when I mentioned it at through a circular, the same has already been challenged in the courts. अगर आप ऑफिसर के सामने एप्लीकेशन लगाते हैं इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी स्ट्रक्चर की और ट्रेडिंग होगी ओइंग टू द सर्कुलर, कैसे? लेट्स सपोज ये लाइट्स का ले लीजिए एग्जांपल, पहले ये 18% पे टैक्सेबल थी, पर्सन ने परचेज की 18% पे, जब वो सेल करने गया तो रेट था 12%, ट्रेडिंग कर रहा है, अब उसका तो क्रेडिट एक्यूमुलेट हो गया 18%, और रेट की वजह से भी है, यस इट इज ड्यू टू रेट 18% and 12%, but he cannot claim the refund due to the circular 135 restricting that it is mere reduction of tax on rate of goods. You are not eligible for credit. Nowhere in the statute, nowhere else we have find this provision restricting on the trading activity that the refund will not be allowed. Right now, फ्रेंड्स, अब मैंने बोला दिस प्रोविजन हैज ऑलरेडी बीन चैलेंज, और मैंने बोला कैसे मिलेगा, आ रही हो रोहित जी, आई एम कमिंग टू इट सर। 41 को भी छोड़ दीजिए, थ्रू द चेंजेस दैट वर ब्रॉट इन जुलाई मंथ, गवर्नमेंट ने कहा अगर आपका इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी रेट स्ट्रक्चर आ रहा है और आप ट्रेडिंग कर रहे हैं, बट वो क्यों आ रहा है, कंसेशनल रेट्स की वजह से। एग्जाम्पल, साइंटिफिक इक्विपमेंट, साइंटिफिक इक्विपमेंट ऐसे नॉर्मली या टैक्सेबल एट 12% पे आते हैं, बट अगर साइंटिफिक रिसर्च के लिए दिए जाएंगे तो 5% पे दिए जाएंगे। अगर आप ट्रेडिंग कर रहे हैं क्योंकि किसी को स्पेशल कंसेशनल रेट का बेनिफिट मिला है और आपको इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी रेट स्ट्रक्चर मिल रहा है, we will allow you even in trading, but for a normal trader the answer is no, आपको नहीं मिलेगा। However sir, अगर आप okay Satish ji, if I say that we go by the law, the same circular 135 has been challenged, and there have been a number of judgments right in front of you by High Court of Guwahati in case of BMG Informatics. Then we have the other two High Courts also coming upon the same, which clear cut says the High Court of Rajasthan in Baker Huggies, and we have the Shivako Associates also by Honorable Kolkata High Court, which says that this provision of Circular 135 should be let down. But friends, let me tell you, practically, in the department, trading refund is not getting allowed even if there is any inverted duty rate structure, except it is due to some concessional rate for which the benefit has been allowed by the government. Although provision of 135 of this circular 135 has already been challenged, and favorable judgments by different high courts have already been passed. Right, Satish ji? Right. So next, move forward. Now let's talk about the new formula. Earlier, not proposed now, it is actually being put into practice. Now what that says is, it says that, have a look how it was earlier. Earlier it was saying that we will not allow you the refund for the input services. No refund for the input services. What was it? When you are taking net ITC here, we will give you only and only inputs. It is still the same. It is still the same, but now let's have a look what is the actual change in the formula itself. Have a look. Here is the change. Previously, it was turnover net. Sir, very, very simple. What department, if I ask you how you will allow the refund, you will say in the proportion of turnover. How much is the inverted duty turnover? In proportion to that. Now, please look, have a look. Net ITC here will be taken only and only of inputs. The formula is still same. In the ratio of inverted duty turnover as to adjusted turnover. However, now minus tax payable formula has been changed. Minus tax payable will also will be in the ratio of input. It's not clear? Don't worry. Let's have a look with the help of next example. I'm coming to it and elaborating it in detail. Have a look through this example, and you know the RTPs are at real benefit. Through this change in formula. See, in the earlier case, the refund was merely up to 50,000, which increased to 1.125 lakhs due to change in formula. Now let's have a look. We are having an entity. Entity is having a turnover of 1 crore rupees. 1 crore, out of which 50 lakh is inverted and 50 lakh is not inverted. 50-50. Sir, please make it sure. The turnover, which is the trading turnover, that doesn't mean you have to just keep it segregate. No. When I talk about total turnover, total adjusted turnover, it will be 1 crore only. Many applications that have been filed to the department have been found that if the entity is into trading as well as inverted duty, they just drag the trading portion out. No. Only in the multiplier, you don't have to take the trading turnover. When I talk about total turnover, that has to go total 1 crore. So what is the ratio? 50-50. All right. What is the input? ITC only of inputs. That is 6 lakh rupees. That is 6 lakh rupees. So if I say, all right, this is the 6 lakh rupees. We do it in the proportion of turnover. All right. Minus tax payable on inverted turnover only. Yani 6 lakhs pay. At the inverted turnover tax was 2.5. Only 2.5 was getting deducted. Now, this is the change in the formula. It says why you are, there is portion of the output tax that is paid through services also. Services ka input. You are not allowing me refund, it's okay. But at least don't take full tax of 2.5 lakhs. Then the government has changed the formula that the output tax, which was deducted 2.5, will be in the ratio of input. 6 lakh input, ITC related to input divided by total input, which was 8 lakh rupees. Right? So ultimately, the refund comes out to be 1.125. So directly, input service refund is not allowed in inverted duty structure, but it is now allowed in proportionate of the total ITC of the concern. I hope you all are clear about the formula, or if you have any doubt, you can kindly put it in the chat box. Q&A session, I will take a little later. Is it clear to everyone? So inverted duty tax structure refund has substantially gone up due to the reason that because of the change in the formula of minus. All right. Let's move to the next slide. Now, moving ahead. It is implemented, Soumyaji, it is implemented at the beginning itself. I said it is even implemented on the portal itself. It is implemented on the portal itself. All right. Now, moving ahead, sir, the formula, the refund amount which is given by the formula is subject to the balance available. So that gives you the maximum refund. Okay, if I say in this example, you get the maximum refund amount, which is 30,000, then as per formula, you get the amount as 50,000, but the balance available on the portal in the credit balance at the end of the refund period. What does it mean? If you are applying the refund for, say, the period July 2023, IIV, June 2022. All right, June 2022. In that case, the credit balance at the refund period, yani June 22, if you are filing the application today, that balance, all the three things will be compared and the least will be allowed. It is already there in the portal. The formula is already there. The least amount will be allowed, and out of this least amount, first IGST and then balance equally between C and S. And if there is still shortfall, then it can recover from the last very head in which the balance is available. Soumyaji, are you clear? It has already been implemented. Now, moving ahead. This was about the okay. Now let me ask you one more thing. Has the refund period been extended? Has the refund period been extended? Yes. I recently got many queries from various tax professionals, department persons asking about that. We have applied for the refund for the period 2020. So literally saying, I will come to that notification also. 4 years time has been granted due to Corona. It is being extended by 2 more years. So now the refund application for 2020 period can be filed up to 2024. So the change that has been, because it was a very important point, I highlighted it here only, but the same has been a part of the PPT through the particular notification also. Now, sometimes, not sometimes, many a times we have come across the officers saying, when we talk about net ITC, or the person saying we will take the ITC only and only which is higher in rate and not the lower one. So let me explain through the examples. If a party has input A or input B, input A is at the 5%, input B is at 18%. First, you have to check whether it is the case of inverted duty. Answer is yes. If you have input B at the rate of 18% and output is taxable at 12%, yes, it is a fit case for inverted duty rate structure. Now, should I take only 18% or should I add input for 5% also? It has to be added for both. It doesn't mean that if only 18 or 5, it is net ITC. When it is net ITC, even input on A 25 plus input on B 360, both will be added. 385 divided by total turnover, multiply by inverted turnover minus the tax paid. So refund in this case is 25 rupees. Again, formula gives me the highest amount. It will be compared with the credit ledger and then it will be granted. Now, friends, let's have a look on the second case. Second case, if I talk about, is it the case of inverted duty structure? Answer. Friends, let me tell you, whenever you apply for the refunds or whenever the officer concerned checks for the refund, we always first need to check whether it is a fit case for inverted duty structure or not. If you have input A at 12%, input service B at 18%, output at 12%, no, it is not a fit case for inverted duty structure because input is to be compared with output and not input service. Right? And the last and the most important case study of this is if a person is both into manufacturing and trading. Please make it sure in this case, the assessee is having a total turnover of 8,100, out of which manufacturing turnover and trading turnover is to be segregated. Manufacturing is 3,000 and trading is 5,100. But that doesn't mean that you should leave trading part in all total and ignore that and the refund to be applied on the basis of 3,000 of turnover. No, absolutely wrong. It will give absurd results. If manufacturing percentage will be higher, get more refund. If trading percentage will be higher, you will get the lower refunds. So please make sure when you take divider as the turnover, it should be entire 8,100. Total ITC, trading as well as manufacturing, yani 360 plus 25 plus 600. Total ITC should be taken 985 in the proportion it should be taken. Now, moving ahead, sir, sometimes people have the export also and it is covered by inverted duty rate structure also. So my question to you, bahut der ho gayi na, you people have not answered anything in the chat box. Now let me ask you, if a person has export also and it is covered by inverted duty also, how many applications of refund should be made? Quickly. See, your time is crossing. Sarthak ji saying 2. Anybody favoring Sarthak ji? 2. 2. Oh my God. The answer is 1. Answer is 1. Yes, Nagarajan ji, it is 1 only. Arvind ji, Ashok ji. Now, please have a look. And you know what? Friends, please make it a point that if you have inverted duty rate structure as well as exports, never say your party to go for with payment of tax exports. We have the option. Let me clarify it very clearly. In case of exports, the person has the option to go for with payment or without payment. And it doesn't mean if a person has applied for LUT, he cannot go for with payment. You can do any way you want. You can do one transaction with payment, another without payment, then again with payment, then again without payment. There is no bar. So if he's having inverted, for example, he's exporting textiles, fabric taxable at 5%, export also he's doing, plus it is converted by covered by inverted also. He should always go for without payment of tax. Example is in front of you. In the first example, this person having 120 export turnover. See, I show you. 120 rupees as export turnover has output tax of 12 rupees. If he goes for with payment, he will get only 12 rupees as refund. And if he he makes an application under the category exports without payment of tax, he will get entire ITC of 18 rupees as refund. So in first case, he was having a loss of 6 rupees. He was having see here, he was getting only the tax on output, see 12 rupees. Whereas in second case, he was getting the refund of entire input of 18 rupees. So whenever a person is having LUT or having inverted duty, always go for LUT method. Right, Sambhartaji, LUT or bond for export, absolutely correct. And you have the option to select it or change it anytime you want without any intimation to the officer concerned. Now, let me quickly come to the topic of exports also, considering the time. Wait. Okay, one thing more. Reference in the VAT regime, we were more concerned with the trading items. We never used to look at the P&L items. But in the present regime, GST does not make any difference between the trading and the P&L items. So if you have stores, consumables, whether used directly or indirectly, if you have machinery repairs, which is the part of P&L account, all those will be considered for the purpose of refund in the inputs, right? And, certificates have been a big issue. Certificates have been a big issue. In case of certificates, the chartered accountants or the CMAs have been asked to give the CA certifications. I have particularly put in here the Rule 89, talking about that in which cases the CA certificate can be demanded. It is not in case of inverted duty rate structure or in case of exports, otherwise that you require to have the CA certificates. Right? All right. Let's move on to the next point. Votes. Formula is no minor because there is no output tax. You are exporting it under the without payment of tax category. And you're doing it under without payment of tax category. My dear friends, there has been a condition being posed that the export amount cannot be more than 1.5 times of domestic turnover. Thank you, Mr. Sombata. Now let's move forward. So, for example, let's take the example of a rice sheller. Rice sheller, if you are domestically supplying the rice at 5250 per kg, per 100 kgs per quintal, you cannot make the exports 5250 into 1.5 times. This again condition has been imposed through a circular, but let me tell you, in the recent High Court judgment, the court again has quashed this provision and says it is extension of the law through a circular. But as of now, the provision exists, but it will sooner or later be taken back. Now, friends, in this case, I have given you the specimen of the original invoice and a shipping bill. In this case, please make sure the refund is allowed on the basis of invoice or FOB value in the shipping bill, whichever is lower. Whichever is lower. It means, see, in this case, the refund is in front of you of 17,228 USD. And FOB value given in the shipping bill is 12 lakhs. So the refund will be allowed on rupees 12 lakh 45,000 only on the FOB value compared with the invoice or shipping bill, whichever is lower. It is actually leading to loss to many exporters. And friends, whenever your client comes to you for any advice, please do check whether he should go for with payment or without payment of tax. If he has lesser exports during the month, so see, you always have the option. And what if you have capital goods involved? Capital goods are purchased in a particular period. You should always prefer, in this case, with the payment of tax option. You should prefer with payment of tax option. How come? I show you. See, let's suppose this is the example. If this person goes for without payment of tax option, he will get ITC only of this amount, only of the input and input service, only of input and input service refund. Yani this 5,000 refund, this, only this 3,000 and this 2,000 refund. But if he goes for with payment of tax option, he made an export of 1 lakh at the rate of 12%, he will get the entire amount as refund of rupees 12,000 rupees. If there are capital goods involved, with payment of tax is always and always a better option because it leads to encashment of capital goods. Second, if the person has cess, if a person has cess on inputs, it is always better to go for without payment of tax option. Here, without payment of tax. See, it is in front of you. He will get entire input as refund. Yes, even the cess, 6,500. But if he goes for without payment, because output is without the amount of cess, it will be 5,000. So without payment. And the last case, if the person has exported less and purchased more, it means if he has stock lined underneath, it is always better to go for without payment of tax option. Now, in this case, you see, the person has purchased input ITC tax worth 32,000, but he has done export only of 1 lakh rupees, resulting in 5,000 tax. If he goes for with payment, he will get 5,000 refund in that month. And if he goes for without with payment, 5,000. Without payment, he will get 32,000 as refund. So it is preponement of refund. If there is stock underlying, without payment of tax is better. Friends, on each and every step, you have to make sure that what sort of option is import and export, what things are counted, what should be the procedures, if there are errors, all these points I have put it in the PPT, but due to the want of the time, and I can see the question answer in chat box, PPT will be shared to you. It covers all the points that yes, now you can even withdraw the application of refund if you feel something has been wrongly filed, because application once rejected, you can only go into appeal for the same. And certain other provisions, SCZs and all that, I have tried put in the SCZ provisions in one slide only for all of you, along with the judgments on refunds for your reference. The platform of Taxmann with all of you. Now I just come to the Q&A, because chat box I have already considered. Many of you have answered in the chat box. Invoice is mandatory for refund. Invoice is mandatory for refund. Abhishek ji, the list, I have put it in the PPT. What invoices in which category of refunds are required? What is electronic cash ledger? Your money lying in the cash ledger with the government, and then you set off. Any advance, any refund for advance? This is, I think so, is an anonymous attendee. Credit accumulated for 2 years, there is no sale, will there be refund? Again, sir, which category of refund you are applying for is a big question. If GST paid due to RCM liability, but no liability on sale to adjust, then can we, sir, if your output, there is no tax liability, means your output is exempt, or then if you pay the RCM, the refund will not be allowed. But let me tell you, in the recent time, we have got the budget that has not yet been implemented, which talks about that if you are totally into exempt, and then you are not liable to even get registered, right? Sir, first of all, you have asked me a question, if there is mistake in place of supply, can the refund be allowed in DRC 03? According to me, if your DRC 03 is liable for refund, just because of POS, it should not be restricted, but still it depends upon the facts of the case. Gitesh Ji has asked the question, export of goods has been done with payment of tax and shipping bill filed, say 100 rupees. However, payment from customer is received including tax of 108. Will the customer be eligible for refund of 18? Sir, Gitesh Ji, unjust enrichment will apply. So this will be the case. Either you treat 118 as your income, otherwise you won't be able to get the refund. 100% if you apply for the refund, the principle of unjust enrichment will come into being. So there is a question that how to apply for the refund of inverted duty rate structure in case of trading, that I have elaborated with examples. CGST refund account credited and SGST amount not credited. In that case, interest will be payable by department refund. Of course, whatever amount of refund you have not got, you are liable to get the refund on the same. Whether the ITC accumulated due to payment of output tax, whether the ITC accumulated due to payment of output tax in cash for various reasons, whether such ITC, Mr. Krishna Rao, if you have ITC accumulation, but just because that you paid in cash and didn't use credit, will not make you eligible for a refund until or unless you have exports or you have inverted duty rate structure. It will be allowed in those two cases only, right? Any other question? What does a registered warehouse according to, sir, it is the government who bonded warehouses or registered warehouses with the government where you are allowed to keep the goods imported. Any other query? Are you there, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah,
yes, ma'am. I have tried to answer the queries. If there's still left any, please let me know.
Who is? One second.
CA certificate, Neeraj, yes, that will be required. Wrong payment. Definitely, Pankji, the PPT will be 100%. It will be shared. Can we claim refund of GST paid on import service? RCM paid on import of service and received before GST. Sir, if you have any services before GST registration, the refund for the same will not be allowed. But however, if you have normal other post GST registration inputs, certainly that will be allowed. Sorry, I could not read this query properly. In case. In case of refund of exports in earlier years, refund issued as per invoice value by the department, our officer demanding to pay back to the department as per FOB value. What is the way forward? Sir, of course, if the because this provision, Rajendraji, was already existing in Circular 125, although we have given the representation to the government that it should not be on FOB value, specifically when you are bringing in the foreign exchange, but any wrong refund given can be taken back by the department through the proper adjudication proceedings under Section 73 or 74, along with interest. Rest question was flown away, so I could not see that. My pleasure, Raghuji. Thank you so much. An exporter deals in goods on which inverted tax structure is not applicable normally, but few sales are made. Yes, sir. If you are complying with all the requirements of merchant exporter, yes, you will be allowed for the refund. Yes, you can make application under 2 categories for the same period. Right, Sarthak ji? For one period, we can make the application for 2 simultaneously for 2 categories. But few sales are, sir, of course, for 0.1%, you will be applied under deemed category. Now that will go separate. But otherwise, if it is not normally, so there will be one application only. Sir, Rule 9610, ultra wires. Sir, yes, there have been a number of judgments talking about the Cosmo and various other judgments that talks about Rule 9610 has been held, but not a concrete judgment.